What's up everyone? As you guys can tell below, I have some Pokemon stuff. I have a Game Boy, I have a package that has not been opened yet, and we are going to talk about opening Pokemon games and figuring out whether they are real or fake. And I think all of these are real, but we'll look a little bit at these things and show you guys what makes them whether or not they're real or fake. And I bought these this weekend, and I bought these sometime last week, and I knew they were kind of coming in at the same time, or at least I'd have them at the same time. So I figured out, why not open this up, show you guys what I got, and really check out and see if there is something that I can sell or not. So I'm going to take some of this garbage, but not really garbage, but I'm going to move it out of the way just for time being. I'm going to take my knife here, open that bad boy up, close it up for safety, and then dump the games out. Oh, that was not as dramatic as I thought it was going to be, so I'm going to need to open this knife up yet again and cut it up. Don't be nutty, cut towards your buddy. Always cut away from you. Be safe when you do stuff like this. So I'm going to close this thing back up because I don't need it anymore. Kind of clear off some of the garbage that came with this, and check out these 3 games that I just got in the mail, and then check out these other ones that I've bought recently. They all came in these nice little baggies, so that's pretty cool. 3 baggies is very awesome because I at least know they cared somewhat about these games, so they could potentially be real because obviously they cared enough to take care of them. Now, the labels on some of these don't look too great, but then some of the labels look better. I've got Pokemon Crystal here. I have Pokemon Red. I have Pokemon Silver. I have Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Blue, and Pokemon Gold. And honestly, it looks like I've got all the ones that honestly that you could ever need. There's some more, but we'll talk about those later in another video. However, we're going to talk about these games. This Pokemon Silver looks a little beat up on the label, so that one is an interesting fact. We'll have to check that out. It's like there's something on the label almost. We'll have to open that up and check it out, and hopefully this thing works. It does say Game Boy, Nintendo Game Boy up there, so that's promising. You've got a bunch of wear on this Pokemon Red as well, and what looks to be some stress on the plastic, so we'll check that out when we take that apart. You've got this Pokemon Crystal that actually looks pretty good, and it does say Game Boy Color at the top, so that's good, and I can see the Nintendo logo on the back on the board, so that's a very good thing. This Pokemon Gold looks really pretty good condition. It says Nintendo Game Boy up there, and I mean, it looks like it's in good condition, so I'm not too worried about that one. Same with this Pokemon Blue. Looks like it's in good condition. It's got some wear, but what game doesn't get wear when it's used? And the same with this Pokemon Pikachu Special Edition, which is just Pokemon Yellow. It has some sun fading at the top, but that's normal. There's nothing crazy. Still got that Nintendo Game Boy logo at the top. And overall, these games look promising. None of them look fake, honestly. So that is a good thing. But we're going to go ahead and take this and open them up, check them out, and then test them in this Game Boy Color that I have right here, and hopefully figure out whether or not these are real or fake. I have not gone through these 3 at all. You know that. You just saw me open the package. I have tested these, and they all appeared working, so we're going to start with those. And I have a bit that works perfectly for these that I keep on this because I actually have the bigger size and the handle, so that always works out for me there. Opening this thing up, I am looking for that Nintendo logo, and it is on the very back of the board, which is actually pretty good. That means that this is a good board. It looks like it has the original battery on it, so we'll have to test that battery and make sure. But everything looks good here. Nothing looks fake. Nothing looks out of the ordinary. So I'm very happy about that, honestly, because you will find some games that just have weird things about them that obviously show you that they're fake. Now, we'll check this out in the Game Boy Color and make sure it works. But first off, that Pokemon Yellow looks good. So, moving on to the Pokemon Blue, which yet again I am unscrewing with the bit, which sucks that Nintendo did their own thing, but I understand. This one looks like the battery is good as well, and it looks like it says Nintendo on the back, so that is a good thing. And looking at it, I mean, it doesn't look like anyone has tried to replace the battery as well on that one, so we'll check that out when we get to it and see if it saves and whatnot, because sometimes you'll get these that do save and sometimes you don't, because this came, the board says 1998, which means that this battery, if it's an original, which it looks like it is over 20 years old, so to find one that's working is actually kind of a surprise. So we're taking this Pokemon Gold and we're going to open it up just like we opened up the other two, and we'll slide it out and lift up, and it does look like they've done something to this because there's tape on it. However, Nintendo looks good. This battery looks like it has been resoldered, which is not a surprise. You oftentimes will find people that do this, so that's not a big deal. I will test this out and make sure it works. But, I mean, you oftentimes do see battery replacements on these things, so I'm not too worried about it, but it did actually look like some legit place did it. It didn't look like garbage, which is a good thing, because oftentimes you will see bad people doing bad, I guess, battery replacement. I don't know. I've seen some bad looking ones and just haven't been a fan of some of them. However, these two, the first two look original, and the third one actually does look like it has been replaced, which is not a bad thing. It happens, so I'm not too worried about that, quite honestly. As long as it saves, I'll be happy. This crystal looks very good from the outside, and this one has that same tape, and it looks like maybe that battery is original. On the back up here, it does have the Nintendo logo, which is normal up there, and I'm not surprised by any means, but the battery does look, maybe it was resoldered, but it looks like it was probably not, so that's pretty good. Out of the four that we've gone through, it looks like they're all either original label, original batteries, or they've been resoldered, but they look resoldered well, so I'm not complaining too much there. Now, I will say the screw on this one looks a little beat up, and I don't know if that's just from the plastic and everything being beat up, or if it's from people actually unscrewing and screwing it back in, so we'll figure that out when we test it. But overall, I'm pretty happy with what we've seen so far. We're going to open up this Pokemon Red here. This is the one that has, like, I don't know, like, plastic that's been kind of, like, pushed in a bit. So I'm interested to see how the board looks. You slide that off like normal. The board looks dusty, but nothing too bad on it. It does say Nintendo at the top. Again, that's cool. And the battery looks fine. Maybe this one's gonna have problems. There's like a cut through one of the actual connecting pins, so I'm interested to see how that works and if it works. But overall, it looks promising. The battery looks to be original as well. So, oh, but look, there's a bunch of like maybe corrosion or dust or something inside of it. Maybe that's just dust from random crap, or maybe it was a bad battery or something like that. We'll see when we plug it in and whether or not it's going to work. I think it probably will, just looking at it, but we may be surprised whenever we get down to it. This one kind of, the connector pins looked a little beat up, so maybe we'll have problems there. I'm not quite sure, but we'll figure it out when we get there. So last but not least, we have this Pokemon Silver. yet again, we're just gonna unscrew it. And I know this is probably the boring portion of the video, but I want to show you guys what it actually looks like inside of each one of these games. And so you slide that off again. These pins are really dirty. That happens. There's a piece of plastic. Oh, look. The piece of plastic right there broke off. That happens. It's not a huge deal. It just keeps the board in a little bit more. It also has the Nintendo logo at the top there, and everything looks fine on this one. It may have been resoldered as well. Maybe not though. The board is dirty. I may have to clean that with rubbing alcohol. But other than that, I think for the most part all of these are going to be good. We'll just have to see when we plug them in, because sometimes things look great and they work, and other times they do not. So what we're going to do is start with the ones I've already tested. Pokemon Yellow. We're going to start this up. Turn the volume down because, you know, people be monetizing your videos because you have stuff playing. Let's check this out. If you can see that, it looks like it is coming up. I keep pressing buttons to make it do stuff. So look, that is Pikachu, which is the yellow version. Let's hit the right button. It'll start up. And there is a continue on it. Let's start that. Okay, so this battery still works. That's very awesome. What I'll do is make a pile. I'll put good batteries on this side and bad batteries on that side, and we'll see which ones actually have good batteries. I did not test the batteries on these, so I'll be very interested to see what works and what doesn't. Just trying to get to the startup screen, and it looks like we have a Pokemon Blue startup screen. Let's see if we can see if there is a continue, which is good. Okay, it looks like someone did start it. Let's start. Okay, cool. That is the second good battery. I'm very surprised that that one had a good battery. I was not expecting it because honestly, these games are old and you know sometimes you get good stuff and sometimes you don't. I am pulling up Pokemon Gold here and it does look like it is working. We are going to go ahead and start it up. And it just says new game. So what I'm going to do is assume that it's a bad one. And I'm just going to go ahead and make my way into the game. Yeah, this is definitely a bad one. Okay, so this gold has a bad battery, which is okay. You could still play it, just saving it's not the best. So we will put that over to the side and grab Pokemon Crystal and see how this one boots up. And hopefully we don't get too many bad batteries. Okay, so there you can see Pokemon Crystal starting up, which is cool. And then we will get to the... Oops, it actually may have a bad battery. Let's check it again. I may have skipped it on accident. But oftentimes we do have bad batteries. Let's check this out. Okay, so it's just a new game, which means either no one has played it, which I doubt they haven't. So I'm chalking this up to a bad battery. I'll go through more thorough testing of this later on and check to see whether it is actually a bad battery or if people just didn't save their data, which would be dumb. However, I guess it can happen. I'd be surprised. Here we've got a problem. We've got one that didn't boot up. So it boots up, gets to this, and then, oh, it looks like it's actually working this time, which is a good thing. Let's check it out. Okay. Okay, Pokemon Red. Let's see. There is a continue. Wow. That Pokemon Red has an actual, save state. That's actually incredible. I thought if anything this one would have problems, but I took it out and put it back in, blew on the cartridge, and it worked. So it works. I proved it. I proved that blowing in the cartridge works. I'm totally kidding. I bet it doesn't even work. Here is Pokemon Silver. We have it all booted up, and we're gonna go ahead and try to get into it. And it just goes to new game, which means it probably has a bad battery. So we've gone through all of that, and honestly, I'm not too disappointed. We've got 3 games, the original first 3 actually, not counting green because it never came to America. Like seriously, why didn't that come to America? But anyways, these 3 games have good saves, so they go on that side. These 3 games have no save battery, or at least they weren't working. So that means they go on that side. So with that being said, that is kind of a breakdown of some games and letting you guys know how to figure out if you've got a legit copy or not. So with that being said, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification because it lets you know when I post videos. So you need to check that out because it is every day now. So with that being said, before you go, make sure you have a good day.